It's time for the Taco Truck Roundup for March 25th, 2024. This is the show where I try everything that's new at AppSumo. I'm going to show you how it works, give it a rating, and help you decide whether or not it's a good fit for your business. We've got 10 new deals this week, ranging from video tools all the way over to SEO and security-based tools. So without further ado, let's get right into our very first tool, which is called Hipclip. Now, Hipclip is a Descript replacement or alternative to, you can see they even say that right here. If you don't know what Descript is, it's a way to easily edit videos with a text-based interface. So in the AppSumo TLDR, you can see that it's really doing two things. It's going to allow us to use that text-based video editor, and it's also going to create social media clips from long-form content. So I think we've probably all kind of run into an AI-based tool that does that by now. This is an interesting combination, kind of adding it with the Descript interface. Looking at the AppSumo plans and pricing, the AppSumo deal is mapped to their Pro plan. And if I head over to their website, click on pricing, I can see that their Pro plan is normally $220 a month and typically includes 30 hours of transcription. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get 30 hours per month on AppSumo. That will depend on what plan you actually purchase. I'll talk about that more in a moment. But what it does mean is that any future updates in the future should be mapped to that Pro plan. So anything the Pro plan gets, AppSumo users should get as well. So normally $220 a month, AppSumo offering it starting at just 49 bucks. That seems like a pretty good deal. Two important features that I really like are included in every single plan is the ability to output videos without a watermark. That's really nice. No one wants to have a watermark on their social media videos. And we also get 4K video output. Oftentimes, video tools will reserve this for their higher end tiers or not even offer it at all. So it's really good to see that is included. So what are the differences between the plans? It's basically how many hours of transcription you're going to need. 4 hours is 49 bucks. 10 hours is 129 bucks. 25 hours is 279 bucks. And there's also a tier 4, which brings it up to 40 hours for 400 bucks. So if you're looking for the best deal, I just put together a little chart here, and you can see that across the different tiers, the pricing remains pretty consistent. The one tier to probably avoid would be tier 2 because the cost actually goes up per minute there. So tier 1, tier 3, and tier 4 are better deals. However, with tier 2 right now, unless my math is wrong, you end up paying a little bit more per minute. So I'd probably go with 1, 3, or 4. For me, I'm going to go with tier 1. So let's go ahead and make my purchase. Now, I am an AppSumo Plus member. I'll drop a link below for that if you want to check it out. It gives me 10% off, so I get this $2.40 off. And then just this month, they gave out a coupon code so that everyone who's a Plus member gets 25 bucks off. So kind of a nice little weird bonus. They don't always do that, but I've got it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it to this initial purchase and proceed to checkout. All right, so my account is ready to go here. I've not used the tool yet, but I want to point out that there are 4 different tools here that we can utilize. The first one is to convert media to text, so basically transcriptions. The next tool is to remove fillers or silences. So if you say or a lot, you can upload a file right here and it will strip those out automatically. The next one is to generate captions with AI. And finally, we can go ahead and turn long video clips into shareable shorts. So, all right, let's start off with the first tool to convert media to text. So I'm gonna click right here and you can see that we've got a few different options for bringing our files in. We can use our device, basically uploading things. We can use Google Drive, Zoom, Dropbox, or OneDrive. So I'm just gonna upload a file. There is a limitation. You can only upload files that are 2 gigabytes max, which in my opinion is a little bit on the small side. Often my videos are many hours long, so they get to be over 2 gigs pretty quick. All right, so I'm uploading a video that I made a few weeks back. It's not anything that I made for YouTube. This is more of like an internal video for my VAs. So we're gonna see how this does in terms of transcription, and then if we can actually edit the video from there. So it looks like the upload is completed. It's currently encoding the file. All right, so the transcription is done. It went pretty quickly there, so I'm fairly impressed. Now, this video is about 15 minutes in length. So, it was able to upload the video and transcribe it all within about probably 35, 40 seconds. I didn't set a timer. I actually thought it would take a little bit longer than this. So off to a good start here. All right, so the user interface is not super polished, but I think I get the gist of what they're going for. So if I wanted to, let's say, remove these first 3 words of the video, I can simply select them and then press delete. And now they are crossed out. So if I play the video, preparing for the migration, but not it actually just cuts those out. Now, it wasn't a super clean edit there. It actually started with this word rather than the beginning. I don't have my sound recording on my screen right now, so you just have to trust me that it kind of starts the sentence with pairing for the migration. So it doesn't actually nail the exact transcription. So we're close there, but not perfect. So if I wanted to put these words back in, I can just select them and then press D again, and they are back into my video. Now you might notice that there are these little rectangles. These signify silence inside of the video. So there's periods of time where I'm not talking at all. So it makes it very easy. If I wanted to delete those manually, I could do so, just selecting them, deleting them, and actually grabbed a word there. So let's see how clean the cut was. So not a super clean cut there because it actually took off the word available, even though I didn't have it do that. And then it started up with currently, and so we lost these 3 words. So to fix this, I would probably just kind of trim with a little bit of buffer zone. So I'm not going to go right up to the edge, and I'm not going to go right to the edge on that side either. So let's try that out. Much better. So you can probably figure out how to adapt this to be a little bit more accurate. But for my particular recording right now, it was not perfect in terms of making those edits based on the transcription that I'm looking at on my screen. Moving on to the next tab, it says AI clips. So it actually ended up finding a bunch of things it thought could be clips, and it gives it a score out of 100. So let's see, this one right here is 90 out of 100. This one down here is 95 out of 100. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Click on the little clip button. It generates a new clip and it says, let's go. All right, so here is my clip. It is about 15 seconds in total. Now remember that this video is not meant for social media consumption, so it's not really a fair ask to have it generate buzzworthy clips from it, but it is noteworthy that it was only a 15-second clip. I think that's a little bit too short for social media. It's also interesting that it edited out a lot of words inside of the clip. So to summarize what happened here, it took this longer video, found a part that it thinks is interesting, then created a new document inside of Hipclip, which is right here. And that document itself actually has a lot of stuff already removed at the beginning and the end. So it's kind of curious why it didn't just remove that completely from the document. I could still restore that, I guess. So maybe that is the thought process to give me a little bit of flexibility. I could undelete this, and now that's included in the clip. So, okay, gives me a little context. Maybe I answered my own question there. Overall, I mean, it works. It's not a very interesting part of the video. So, but that's because the video itself is a boring training video. I should point out that Hipclip knows that a lot of content you're going to generate from it is meant for the shorts world, for Instagram Reels and things like that. So it's very easy to change videos from being a landscape format like my original recording here. If I wanted to output this to a portrait format for something like YouTube Shorts, I could switch right over here in the lower right-hand corner going to portrait. So that's a pretty nice feature. All right, so the last feature I want to take a look at inside of Hipclip is the captions feature. So right over here on the left-hand sidebar, we've got the option to turn on captions, and there are a variety of styles to choose from. What do we got? About 20 different styles here. I'm gonna go ahead and just choose the first one. It's gonna add those captions to the video, and you can see they're overlaid right on top of the video, and I can actually click and drag them right where I want them to go. So that is a pretty nice feature. Let's go ahead and play this back.
Memory usage. Now, these graphs are brand new because the server was just created.
That looks great. I think so far that was the most impressive feature that Hipclip has going for it. Now, obviously it has the transcript because it's probably using, OpenAI Whisper type of technology. I haven't confirmed that's actually what they're using, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the LLM that's powering the actual transcriptions. So it's nice that they have some options here. We can actually go ahead and play around with this. Maybe I won't have a background at all. Whoops, that actually changed the color. So let me change that. Okay, so the UI of changing this is not super intuitive, but we've got text right here, which is going to be the current word that's being spoken. So maybe I want to make that like red or something. And then I've got, which actually didn't change to be red. Then we've got the background. So I could have a background color, which I don't want. So I'm going to make that completely transparent. Then we have effects. Now here is the key. We can have future words have their own text color. So I'm going to make future words just have black text, and then the current word should be red. I can also change to a variety of different fonts. We don't have like every Google font available to us, but there are quite a few of them here. I'm gonna switch over to enter. And now you can see as I'm playing this back, the word that's actually being spoken is turning red.
To view 24 hours, 7 days, or 30 days.
This tool is very clearly in its early stages, which is why it's on AppSumo. They're trying to generate some funds, get some new users to test things and find bugs like this. So I think this is a worthwhile investment, but it's not a fully polished tool like something like Descript is. However, Descript is going to be hundreds of dollars per year, and here you can get in with a single one-time fee. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 6.8. I think it's a solid tool in its niche. It's not quite ready for prime time yet, but if you are willing to work with it a little bit, you can definitely get some usable results right now. Go ahead and check out Hipclip with my link in the description, and it's time for our next tool. Next up, we have CQ Business Management Software. This is a platform to manage teams, projects, expenses, an all-in-one platform for business management. So starting at $69, this is going to be a replacement for something like ClickUp, Monday.com. Those are the examples they give. I'm sure we've all used tools like this in the past. It does integrate with Xero and QuickBooks. Good to see. Looking at the pricing, we are going to be getting all future simple plan updates. If we look at their website and go over to pricing, you can see that they are currently offering their simple plan for £50 per month. So we can get in the door for $69 with AppSumo, and that is going to be limited to one user and 100 gigs of storage. If you need more users, you can of course purchase a larger plan. So that's basically the difference with the plans here, how much storage and how many users you can have. Go all the way up to 20 users and a terabyte of storage for a one-time purchase of $299. All right, just as before, I'm gonna go ahead and get my plan going. All right, so here I am inside of my CQ Business Management Software dashboard. So inside of the dashboard, I've got this really comprehensive video system where they're gonna walk you through all of the main setup features. This is always nice to see when apps take the time to actually teach you how to use their user interface, especially in more complex ones like this. This is a tool that's gonna do a lot of different jobs. And you can see that there's actually about a 8-part setup series here. These videos are decently done, not super high production quality, but you can go ahead and click on them. They pop open in a full screen window, and it's just basically a screen recording of someone talking through what you need to do to get your account set up and going. Now, I would most liken this not necessarily to ClickUp or Monday.com like is on the AppSumo description page, but more to like a Pipedrive CRM style tool that if you know much about Pipedrive, they actually have an add-on to do project management. This feels a lot more like a CRM that's got some project management features rather than a project management tool that you could use as a CRM, if that makes any sense at all. They really want you to use this as your email inbox. That was one of the first steps inside of the setup guide, was to go ahead and configure your email. So you do this under settings and then go over to your business details or your company details right here. And then there's an email section where you can actually connect up your email. Now, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that this works with Gmail, Office 365, as well as any other IMAP provider. I am currently not using Gmail or Outlook. I use a standard IMAP type of email system. So I always like when open standards on the web are supported, email, calendar, things like that. Those are not supposed to be closed down systems. So let's continue to support those open protocols. I'm gonna go ahead and get my email set up to see what it's like. If I could actually use this as my main email tool, I probably wouldn't want to. I've never found a CRM that actually worked for me as a daily driver for email, but let's go ahead and see what this looks like. All right, so I've got my email account connected. I'm over on Mailbox on the left-hand sidebar, and I can go ahead and open up Mail here. And it's gonna go ahead and connect up to my IMAP account and just pull in all of my latest messages. Here's my AppSumo order confirmation for CQ. And if I wanted to reply to this, there is a reply button down here. I'd love to see a toolbar up here with more commands. Here's what the email editor looks like. You can't see the previous email, so that's kind of a problem for me as well. Sometimes when I'm responding to people, particularly for things like proposals or business inquiries, I like to see exactly what they wrote. So with this being kind of a fixed window, I can't even go back to the other message to see the previous message. So far for an email tool, I don't think I could manage to use this on a daily basis. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my email account right now. So the way that I see this working is you'd have leads coming in. They would show up under leads. Let's go ahead and just add one for fun here. So here is my lead. I can set their status. Maybe I've made a proposal and this is going to be a new lead, and I could add some different labels here if I wanted to. And so here we go. I just added a second category in so I could switch this over if I wanted to organize my leads, maybe based on the service industry or the product that the people are interested in. And then once I've gone ahead and made a proposal and maybe won that contract, I would then be able to convert this lead into a job. I can do that by clicking on the gear icon over here and turning it into a job. It confirms, yes, I want to do that. And then the next tab down here, as this moves, takes me right over into jobs where I can build out the actual work that I'll be performing for this client. So I can give this job a title. I'll say website design. I can add other colleagues to the actual task, can categorize the job itself. I'm going to add a new category here for web design. Choose a start date. Let's start next Monday. And I can choose an invoicing schedule. Now I'll hit update. And now I have this job created. And this is kind of where the project management tools start to kick in. So I can see any related emails to this job. I can see paperwork that's been submitted, so documents, job sheets. There is a Gantt chart so that we can track the progress of the task. We could add in each milestone throughout this little spreadsheet over here. We can see some analytics like how the job is progressing in terms of payments, the amount of hours that were spent, and then an overall timeline for the entire job, what has been happening throughout the course of the deal. The next step would be to schedule this job, which would take it to the next tab over here on the left. So here we'd break down the job into tasks and then add each task to this list and then set it as a start and end date. Then over under the schedule section, I'd be able to see when tasks were due, and I could also just see a big list of tasks that needed to be completed. There are a lot more features here that we don't have time to dig into every single nook and cranny, but let's cover a few very quick before we round out this mini review. So there's a price list section where you can add in all of your products or services. So if I have a fixed price service I want to add in, I click up here where it says fixed, I enter in all of the details, and then it's very easy for me to invoice clients in the future for this product. There's also a contact section where we can add in all of the people that we're going to be working with, whether it's subcontractors, colleagues, clients, team members. You can organize all of your contacts right here from this screen. We already looked at mail, but did you know it also includes a chat functionality? So you can go ahead and chat with your teammates right here. That's pretty essential for any project management tool. And finally, we have some analytics so we can get a bird's eye view of everything that's going on within our company. This is going to include everything from revenue to leads to current tasks that are going on, jobs that you're working on. Overall, I think CQ Business Management Software is a pretty solid tool. For me, the one thing that gets me is I don't necessarily like having all of the business stuff tied up in the actual execution stuff. Now, maybe that's just me. I like to have separate tools for all of that. I want to have my sales CRM be distinct from my project management system. That's just a philosophy thing. It might not apply to everybody. Some people might like to have everything all in one tool. But for me, that's a reason I probably wouldn't go with a tool like this because I just don't want to be thinking about money when I'm trying to think about completing the actual job. So if you don't mind that part of it, I think this is a pretty full featured application and it'll work with any email provider. So that is really nice as well. Although the email solution, not necessarily up to snuff quite yet. So I'm going to give this one a 7.1 because I think it is really well thought out. It looks like it's ready for prime time right now. You don't really need to wait around for them to add in any features. Onward and upward, off to the next deal. Up next, we have Sidekick. Sidekick's a browser that's supposed to help you be more productive, get your work done faster. Let's go ahead and check out the plans and pricing here. You can see we're going to be mapped to their pro tier if we buy tier 1 and the team tier if we buy tiers 2 or 3. So as far as the pricing goes, the pro plan is $8 a month billed annually, so about $100 a year. And then the team plan doesn't have a pricing attached to it right now, so you can assume it's going to be pretty similar to pro. It's just probably a little bit higher because you need to buy a certain number of users. The main difference is that the team plan allows you to have apps pre-installed, and then you can also have a built-in VPN. So yeah, looking at the AppSumo pricing page, you can see it's confirming everything we just saw. The only difference is the number of users and then whether or not you get the pre-installed apps, team roles, built-in VPN, so on and so forth. All right, I'm gonna go ahead with tier 1 here. All right, so here is Sidekick. They've got a little onboarding. Let's go ahead and go through this. All right, so it looks like it can pull in data from either Chrome or Mozilla. Now, my standard browser is actually Safari, which I know makes me kind of a weirdo in the internet land, but I don't really use either of these. I think the one I used most recently other than Safari was Firefox, so I'll go ahead and pull that in. It can grab login data, bookmarks, and history, as well as extensions. So that is a major thing. You definitely want to have all of your extensions available to you. That's kind of a no-brainer. You need to bring that along. So I'm going to import those. There was an option to skip that, by the way. If you don't want to do that step, you don't have to. Next, you can choose your web apps. Now, here's kind of where I'm weird is that I don't use a lot of web apps. I'm not on Slack. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Gmail. I don't use Discord. I have a Zoom app on my desktop. I don't need that one. GitHub, same thing. Facebook, I guess. I check Facebook. I don't want any more access to it, honestly. I'm turning off Instagram, Telegram, and I don't use Google Calendar. So can you tell that I'm probably not a good fit for any of these types of browsers? Now, keep in mind, you can turn just about any website into an application, so I can still find a use for this, I'm sure. I'm gonna go ahead and hit continue. Now it's asking to make Sidekick your default browser. I am not going to do that personally because I don't see this as a long-term relationship, but I'm happy to review it for the Taco Truck Roundup. All right, so here we go. I've got the browser open. I've got my apps over here to the left. It's telling me to add new ones by clicking on the plus icon. There's actually quite a few more apps that I can go ahead and install. Some of them I will definitely be things that I use. I like see some open source software here I like already. Mattermost is a great app. And of course, you can add a custom app right up here where you can turn any website into an app. All right, now you're speaking my language. All right, so let's take a quick tour of Sidekick. I'll show you the basic functionality, and then we'll talk about whether or not it actually achieves that goal of allowing us to focus and get more work done. So we've got our apps on the left-hand sidebar. That's kind of the first no-brainer. But we've also got tabs, and currently I have them on the top like a traditional web browser. But thanks to Arc, having tabs along the sidebar has become something that a lot of people like to have. So you can simply click right over here and choose vertical tabs, and now all of your tabs move over to the sidebar. Now, this right up here is called a collection, or excuse me, this is called a session. A session is a group of tabs that you have open. So you can see I currently have these tabs open. If I wanted to add a new tab, I could simply do so right there. And here is another one. So now I've got my apps along with my tabs right over here. I could switch between different sessions by clicking on the little drop down and then adding a new tab group here. So in this tab group, I don't have anything open at all yet. There are key commands for darn near everything here. You can see that I can press Option W to go into the quick switch menu so I can switch between sessions. Now, on top of apps and sessions, there's also something called collections, which are basically like folders for your bookmarks. So I've got collections open right now. That's accessible from right down here inside of the left-hand sidebar, or you can press Option C to open and close your collections. Now, collections, you can organize into different folders. You can see I've got a personal folder right here. I'm gonna create another folder inside of that, and I'm gonna call it Taco Info. And then anywhere on any website, if I want to add a URL to one of my collections, I can simply right click on it, choose add to collection, and I'll choose personal taco info, add to taco info. And now I've got that link organized exactly where I want it to go. There's also a mini to-do list built right into the browser here. You can see next to collections, we have tasks, and they've given me a few different tasks here to try out. Install Sidekick, try productive features, try focus mode, try multi-accounts by making an application on the left. I should distinguish, that is a pretty good thing to point out. The point of having the applications is it allows you to have multiple accounts. So let's say I had 2 Gmail accounts, one for work and one for business. I could add each one as an application and it would stay logged in to that specific account on the left-hand sidebar. So that part is really, really nice because otherwise you're gonna have to manage multiple profiles inside of a browser. So Safari has that, Chrome has that, where you can just switch between different profiles and they'll be logged into different, say, Google accounts based on that profile. Well, you can do that without having to be so taken out of what you're working on. Simply have an icon over here where you can grab your work mail and then switch over to your personal mail. To me, that's the real killer feature here is if you have multiple accounts, you probably want a tool like this. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna stick personally with a standard browser. But there's more focused stuff to talk about. So let's get into what it was actually aimed at, helping people focus and get more done. The first thing to help us with that is called focus mode. So I can press Shift Command or Control F to go in and out of focus mode. You can see that this basically removes all aspects of navigating to other websites, takes it out of your mind. There's also this built-in distraction blocker. So you can enable this, and when it's on, it'll take the websites that distract you and take you somewhere else. So by default, they've got rules for YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook to take you over to your mail. And I don't know about you, but I don't get a lot of work done on my mail. So I might send myself somewhere else instead of that. But the good news is you can customize that however you want. Now there is a toggle switch here to turn on the distraction blocker, but of course there's an easier way to do that. In the left-hand sidebar, there is a notification bell essentially, and currently it is muted, so I can unmute that right here. But if I click on it again or hover over it again, I get the option to block all distractions. Now you can actually have this set to be on a schedule. So Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 or whatever you want to do, it's always going to just move you over to the work-based websites rather than letting you scroll on Reddit all day long. There's also a built-in ad blocker. So currently I have it turned off and I've got this random article up here from BuzzFeed. And as I scroll through it, you can see it's just littered with advertisements. And if I want these to go away, by default, this will be on. I'll just simply toggle that switch and you can see right there, all of those ads magically disappear. Again, there are Chrome extensions that can do this or extensions for really any browser that can take care of this for you, but it's nice that it's built in, no setup necessary, particularly nice if you're going to be deploying this for employees, because then you can set everything up exactly as they need it to access their business tools. I think that is one of the key unique selling propositions with a tool like Sidekick. So overall, I think Sidekick is a solid choice for teams that need to have some control over the apps that people are accessing. For me, it's not a super good fit, so I'm not personally going to be using it, but it's a very well fleshed out, solid Chromium-based browser. It'll work with any extension in the Chrome store. I'm going to give this one a 7.6. A lot of people are trying out new browsers these days, and I think this is a very solid option. Onward to the next deal, but first, if you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and leave me a comment to let me know what deal is your favorite so far. All right. Next, we are talking about Bleach Cyber. This is a security platform that's supposed to keep you safe from all of the bad guys online. It's going to connect up to your infrastructure, so stuff like AWS. It'll connect up to your Gmail, basically helping your company follow best practices, notifying you if there's any issues in terms of your cybersecurity. So let's go ahead and try it out. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check out the plans and pricing, starting at $59 for a single company with up to 25 employees. And if you have more than that, if you want to say offer this to clients, you can have 5 companies with 125 employees or 20 companies with 500 employees. Definitely no need to break out the spreadsheet for this one. Definitely a better deal to go with the higher end tier. You'll get to serve more companies and have more employees. So if you are an infrastructure provider, definitely go with the tier 3 if this ends up being a good fit for you. But let's find out. Let's go ahead and grab a license here. All right, here we go. I've got my account up and running. It's going to autoplay a little video for me to tell me what to do next.
That cleans up your digital.
Right away, I can tell this is an AI generated video with not a real human. So I don't know, for a cybersecurity company, I'd love to have more of a human touch right here, just personally. Hey, Bleach, I'm available. I can do these videos for you. And trust me, I'm a lot more trustworthy than a robot talking about how they're going to help you with cybersecurity. All right, so to onboard here, I need to enter in some information about our company. Let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, so they do have a browser extension. It works for Chrome and Edge, but as I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm using Safari, so I will not be able to use that. I'm gonna skip this part of it. My understanding is that the browser extension will simply just notify you of the instructions for what to do as you're actually using an app. So I'm not gonna lose any functionality, just those on-screen reminders won't be available to me. Okay, so if you're trying to decide whether or not this is a good fit for your company, the first place to start is obvious. Does it even integrate with the tools or services that you use? So first of all, we've got Google for email. I don't use that, so I can't connect up to it. Office 365 for email. I don't use that either, so I can't connect to it. We've got AWS. We do use that, but not in any amount of need that would actually require this tool. Azure, again, not a user of Azure. And then Slack, I don't use Slack either. So if you use these services, they're probably going to be beneficial to you. But for me, I'm kind of sitting here wondering if maybe I should not be the one reviewing this tool. All right, I do have accounts for AWS and Slack, so I'm going to go ahead and try to integrate those two tools so I can proceed. All right, so I just gave Bleach access to my Slack account. I'm going to choose Got It. And now I'm going to give Bleach access to our AWS account. Okay, so my initial onboarding completed. Back over in Bleach, there are 4 separate applications. We've got Cloud Security, Asset Manager, Sweeper, and Email Security. I'm gonna go ahead and install Sweeper first of all, because it's my understanding that I can use Sweeper with any website. It will just look at the website and see if there are any security vulnerabilities. So let's go ahead and open that one up. It's going to default to using my domain, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that, hit continue. And now it's currently monitoring my domain for any problems that might arise. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit scan now. And the scan is taking place. All right, so I just had it scan both the Client Amp website and the Profitable Tools website. Looks like there's no real issues here. It does say there's one opportunity. And if I click on this, it says HTTP web server fixed within a week. If I check Profitable Tools, it says something very, very similar here. Now, not very much detail, and I kind of went searching for documentation to find out what's going on, but the answer was in front of me all along. Under opportunities, these are vulnerabilities, so to speak. So I can click on this and get a little bit more information. So when I pull this screen up, it tells me that, I shouldn't be using port 80, which is kind of a standard web protocol, but it's not secure. So make sure that if you're using this, it says, only use it to redirect people over to a more secure port, which is exactly what 99% of websites are doing these days that have an SSL certificate, which both of these sites definitely have. So that's all good to go. I should be able to ignore this. If I click fix it, it tells me to actually go ahead and install a request header for the web server. And if I hit get started, and nothing really happens here. So I would say that this part is not super helpful. What I would like to see is have this information available to me right here. Like at least give me a link to the opportunities page. Don't make me go back out and then click into it thinking that, something could be wrong. All right, let's go ahead and check out the asset manager. I'm gonna open that up. So this asset manager is currently connected up to my Slack, which I can see right here has got a bunch of info about the Slack. So let's go ahead and see what it says. It's like there are 2 current opportunities or vulnerabilities for my personal Slack account. I do not have multi-factor authentication on for Slack because I haven't used Slack in many, many years. But I can go ahead and click right here and it shows me how I can actually go ahead and authenticate this. So in this case, I'll choose my account and hit fix it. And it gives me step-by-step directions on exactly what to do to go ahead and fix this. All right, I'm gonna wrap up this mini review of Bleach Cyber right here. I have to admit that I have not tested the email because I don't use Google or Microsoft for my email, and I have not even gotten any feedback from the AWS integration, so I don't know if I set that up quite right. I would say that this application is better suited to larger organizations where you're using the applications this supports specifically, and there's not a ton of them right now. If you open the connectors here, you can see there's really just these 5, so you really wanna be using maybe 3 out of the 5 in order to draw any real value from it. And even so, if you're following best security practices like using multi-factor authentication and having your website configured properly for SSL, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more that Bleach is going to uncover. So that's just my point of view as someone who doesn't run a software as a service. Maybe it's more valuable if you're having it go into your database and look for vulnerabilities there. But given what I've seen so far, for most people, I'd say this is probably going to be a pass. And I'm going to give this one a 6.2. I think it's a solid application. Like it performs well. I'm just not sure the value is there. And it might be, just better off signing up for Cloudflare. Next up is SalesBlink, a cold email tool that's powered by AI. It also has a scheduler built right in. So let's go ahead and check this out. You can see it starts off at $69. We're gonna scroll all the way down to the plans and pricing here, taking a quick tour of the screenshots. And first of all, we're gonna point out that if you buy tier 1 through 3, you're gonna be part of the growth plan. And if you go up to business tier, which is tier 4 through 10. That's right. You can scale this all the way up to $690 at the top tier. You're going to be a business member. Now, if we just look quickly over at the SalesBlink website, we can see their plans go from growth to business, and business is currently about $200 a month billed annually, on sale $20 off right at the moment, whereas growth is $79. It looks like the distinguishing feature between the growth plan and the business plan is a feature they called outreach tasks, as well as team reports. Otherwise, you're going to get everything in the growth plan included. So let's see what AppSumo has to say about that. If we look at their plans and pricing here, you can see that we're basically getting a doubling of resources each time we go up a code. So from 5 GPT sequences to 10 GPT sequences to 15 GPT sequences, one increment for each code that you purchase. Probably the most notable thing is the amount of email that you can send. You're limited to 50,000 emails per month on the single, but if you move up to the double, then you get unlimited email sending. Once you move up to 3 codes, you get to bring your own API key, which I have to assume means OpenAI API key, judging that we're using ChatGPT style credits here. So we go from 2 to 4 to 6. And then I suppose beyond that, you can pay out of pocket if you'd like. And if we move up to code 4, remember this was the deciding factor of whether or not we were on the growth plan or the team plan, I believe they called it, the business plan. That's tier 4 through 10. That's going to give us team reports. And as I scale this up here, everything is just increasing linearly. No extra features added beyond that. It never goes to unlimited, unlimited, unlimited. All right, so for this tool, I decided to just go with the free trial. They do offer a 7-day free trial. I'm gonna check this out. So it says, there's a little onboarding here. It says, welcome to Blink. We've got a video, pops open in a very small window here. This is the dashboard. Here is outreach. Then we have our inbox where we'll get our replies, hopefully, and our meetings where people can actually schedule with us. First thing it wants me to do is to connect my email sender. Let's see what is supported. I can choose Connect Email Sender. Looks like we've got some good options here. We've got Gmail, Outlook, Zoho, SMTP, IMAP, and you can even bulk upload email senders. So it tells you what kind of application we're dealing with. You're gonna need more than one email sending tool here for this one. All right, so if we start off in the Outreach tab, you can see your outreach sequences here, and they do give you one for a demo. It's currently paused, and we get some analytics right here and the scheduled time that it would run. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what the sequence looks like. All right, so we get a little sequence builder here. We've got a starting point and then some email templates, and then it waits a couple days and sends another email. If I wanted this to continue, I could add a new block. We've got some options. We can have it wait. We can have it do a else if, so kind of like if something doesn't happen, do this. If they don't open it, send it again, that sort of thing. We can split test different options. Maybe you want to run the same email with different subject lines, see which gets the better open rate. Of course, up here, I skip past it, but you can have it send an email or schedule a manual task. And then our actions down below are to take leads and move them to different lists or just end sequences, archive the lead, unsubscribe people, so on and so forth. Let's look at what the email builder actually looks like. Open this up. And these are email templates. So I assume I can do this in a different screen, actually. Let's try that. So under outreach here, I can go to templates and I can see I have 2 built-in templates. That makes it really nice. You have all your emails on one screen. You can load them into your sequences very simply. So we can mix and match different emails from different sequences if you want. Let's go ahead and create a new one and see what this looks like. All right, so we've got a template name, a offer for what we're selling, a subject line, and then some variables that we can import. So to use the AI functionality, we just need to mention what we're selling here. All right, so I'm gonna say WordPress management services for online creators. Now, I actually do this. This is my main job, is that we offer WordPress management services for online creators. I would never send out cold email like this to just a bunch of creators, but maybe I should be. So let's go ahead and hit draft email. Now the AI is taking over. It wrote a subject line and a decent looking email here. Subject line is enhance your online presence with our WordPress management services. And then the message actually says, are you looking to take your online platform to the next level? We specialize in providing top-notch WordPress management services for creators like you. So I gotta say that probably would not grab my attention if I receive that in my inbox. So I would want to improve that, right? So because it needs to be, hey, like, how can I help you type of thing. Like, I like you a lot, give them a compliment, and then I noticed this, or I want to serve you in some way. When we just kind of start off right with the sales pitch, that's going right into the spam or junk mail, getting you blocked for sure. So I'm just choosing rephrase here and see what it says. It gave the telltale giveaway. This was written by ChatGPT. I hope this email finds you well. They just build a filter right into Gmail right now. Anything that starts that way, right into the spam. All right, let's try one more way to improve. I'll do less persuasive. And it just kind of shortened it up, but it's very, very similar. It still starts with, I hope this email finds you well. It took away the spacing for the formatting. All right, so over here to the right, we have a spam checker. Let's go ahead and see what the spam checker says. It says that overall, this is a perfect email with 53 words and it can be read in less than a minute. It's not dinged as urgent, shady, over-promising, money grabbing, I suppose that's supposed to mean, or unnatural. Then I could go ahead and send a test email right here. Now I'm not connected up any email sending, so I can't do that. I'm sure it's gonna throw me an error if I try to send it out right now. Okay, so my personal bias aside, I don't want to send cold email, but you might. And so I'm going to try to approach this from the point of view that you want to send out cold email to actually help people. So from my point of view, I think this is a pretty decent application. Like, it looks pretty good. It's very simple to use and understand. The layout is smart and intuitive. I haven't had to go look in docs or anything to figure anything out. So overall, I really like it so far. I'm not going to end up purchasing this because I don't want to send out cold emails. But if you do, like, this is a pretty reasonable option for you. We've got our list here. You'd upload your list of leads right here. Then you can create tasks, and the task types, let's go ahead and add a task. And the task types could be to add people manually, LinkedIn connections, LinkedIn message, iMessage, SMS. So this is going to be things that are manual that you need to actually do on your own. So that's kind of cool, because then if you're running a sequence, it could get to a point where it's like, okay, now you need to actually call this person on the phone. Phone call right there. So back over in my sequence, let's say I got to a point where I wanted someone to be called on the phone. I could edit this sequence, and then right here, I'll add a new block, and that block will be a task block, and the event is a phone call. Let's insert that, and there we go. Now, after the second email, I'm going to follow up with a phone call. And as you would run through the sequence, that task is going to show up under your task list as something that needs to be completed manually. As far as reporting goes, we've got some analytics here. We can see how things are going. Now, I don't have obviously any analytics so far. And then we've got the inbox, where we can actually see emails come in, so I can check the replies right here. Next up, we have the Meet tab up here at the top. This is where we schedule our meetings. You'll connect up your Google or Outlook calendar, and then you get a Calendly-like interface where people can actually go ahead and book. You'll be able to drop those links right into your cold outreach and hopefully fill up your meeting calendar without ever having to actually type any messages yourself. Overall, I'm impressed. This is a solid cold outreach tool. I definitely would recommend picking it up if you are in the market to do cold outreach. I'm going to give this one a solid 7.8 out of 10. Once again, I got links for all of these deals down below in the description. Feel free to check those out. It does help support the content that you are currently watching. Next up, we're talking about a no-code builder for internal apps. This is Jestor. Starting at just $69, you're going to get lifetime access. Let's view the plan details. Now, with Jestor, we're going to be mapped to their business plan. If I head over to the Jestor website and look at their rather extravagant pricing table here, you can see there is a table for the business plan. We can see all of the features that are currently included. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't mean we're going to get the business plan limits. So for example, let's say, how about the number of records per table? That starts at 10,000. But the AppSumo plan starts at just 2,000. So if you want to match more closely to their business plan, you're looking at license tier 2 from AppSumo, or $200. But really, what's probably going to decide or help you decide which tier you want to purchase is the number of users that you need. So we get 3 users on tier 1, 10 users on tier 2, and 25 users on tier 3. What's unique about this is that Jestor themselves distinguish between types of users. So a member, or someone who's actually just using the app, is $5 a month, or someone who's actually building the app is $20 a month. However, with AppSumo, everybody's the same. We get builders or members. They're both priced exactly the same. There's no specific limit on those. So that's really nice to see. If you've got 10 people in your organization, you want to all build a sales CRM or any sort of kind of internal tool, you can do that, and you can all collaborate together. You won't be charged extra for having more people work on the app. All right, so hopefully that's clear, because this is kind of a complex app. Let's dig in. I've got an account set up here, and I'll show you a little bit about how it works. So this is Jestor, and I'm inside of my account right now. We are on the home screen, and you can see all of the different apps and pages that I have available to me. So what's confusing to me initially is that what I would typically think of as like a page in an app, they call an app. There's also app pages over here, which, let's just say, this isn't the most intuitive application, but it is also very powerful. So I went ahead and imported one of their sales CRM templates right here. And if you want to do that yourself, by the way, just go up and click on the plus icon and then go to template gallery. And you're going to find a huge listing of different types of internal tools you might want to build. A vacation request tool, a task management tool, a client onboarding tool, really just about anything you can think of in terms of internal tools. I think I saw down at the bottom here, they have a hiring tool, hiring pipeline. So if you've got a lot of incoming applicants, you could manage them inside of Jestor. But essentially, every app's going to need a data source or a table. Then under app pages, we can add analytics pages, Kanbans, forms, as well as tables. And then down here, we have our folders with the actual app pages kind of nested underneath. So if I went to the sales CRM, we can see that there are currently 3 tables inside of this sales CRM. We've got the CRM itself, the companies that we're working with, and then the contacts within those companies. So if I wanted to, say, build a Kanban board to manage this CRM, I could do so by hitting this button right here to add a new app page. Then I'll add in a smart Kanban. I'll connect it up to my sales CRM database, choose the variable I want to sort from, so in this case, stage, and then I can hit save. Now there's lots of formatting options here. If I wanted to change the colors and things like that, I could definitely do so. But for now, I just want to go ahead and check this out. So here it is. Here's my Kanban. I can move the leads through the pipeline here. I could easily add a form to add new cards to this Kanban. Currently, I'm in builder mode, but if I switch over here, I'm now into kind of user mode, I suppose you would call it, and I can easily interact, and I don't have the options to go ahead and edit anything. Of course, I can still use the CRM, right? I can open up the card and modify that. It's more like using an app at this stage, but I can't go ahead and say like, add in that form. I need to switch over to builder mode, drop in the form, and then I could connect the form up to the Kanban. So Jestor is a fairly complete app. All of the features are there that you need to actually build out your internal tools. However, it's not super intuitive. It took me a great deal of time of playing with it and kind of figuring out what everything meant and where it belongs. So I definitely would just take that into consideration if you're coming from maybe a monthly paid application that you're trying to cut down on those costs and want to move over to a lifetime deal. Well, Jestor can probably do it for you, but you might need to set aside several days to recreate any existing no-code apps that you've already built out. Now, something else to keep in mind is that Jestor doesn't have a separate database storage. Like a lot of applications will let you use Google Sheets or Airtable as the database. And Jestor has everything internal. Now, that could be good and bad. I kind of like having the option to have my database stored in one of those big commercial tools because I feel like they're almost too big to fail, whereas Jestor is a new company. So if they go under, if something happens to them, well, then my data is probably going to go with them. Overall, I do think that Jestor is an impressive app and it can accomplish a lot for your business. So definitely well worth looking into if you're able to spend a little bit of time to figure out how to make it work exactly as you need. I'm going to give Jestor a 7.1. I think it's a solid application. Still has a little ways to go in terms of just making it very intuitive and easy for the average person to use. Up next is Pixso, a design and whiteboarding tool that just might replace your need for a Figma or Adobe XD subscription. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pricing details here. So you can see that they mentioned this is an alternative to those applications. And as I scroll down to the plans and pricing, it starts off at $59. That's going to get you 3 editors, 50 gigabytes of whiteboard file capacity, and 3,000 AI credits. Kind of the nice thing about this tool is it does have an AI assistant built in that can help you do things like mind mapping and generating style guides for your designs. So if you wanted to move up from here, you could go to tier 2, which gets you basically more of everything. We're going to get 10 editors, quadruple the capacity for storage, and up to 10,000 total AI credits. And it, again, scales up from there. There's a tier 3 and tier 4, but essentially all of the features are the same. It's just the limits that are increasing. Now, this is going to be mapped over to what they call their Whiteboard and Design Professional plan, which if we head over to the Pixso website is currently running $6 billed annually or $8 billed monthly per user. So if we're looking at having, let's say, what was it, about 10 editors, that could be $80 a month. So definitely a good deal here with the lifetime offer. Now, I've already been playing around a little bit with Pixso, and I gotta say, this is a pretty capable tool, especially if you're coming from something like Figma and you're tired of that subscription. This could be a reasonable solution to replace it. We've got 2 different options. We can do a design file or a whiteboard file, very similar to the offering that Figma currently offers. Then we can also import existing files. So it works with Figma, Sketch, Axure, and XD. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. Of course, you can also bring in other Pixso products as well, or projects as well. Let's go ahead and check out the design interface first. I'm going to go ahead and create a blank document here. And this will probably feel instantly familiar. I can quickly create a frame for a particular size device, like a website. So if I'm laying out a website, boom, there we go. We've got our frame all set up. From here, I could add in something like a section. So I'll go up to plus and add in my section. Maybe I'll draw my section across. Now, what I really like is that we have the option to mark something, whether it's pending development or it's currently in design. So I can choose this and then everyone knows, okay, this is still being worked on. So over here to the left, we've got our layers, a very common type of layout. Over one tab next to it, there is components. These are going to be reusable things within your project. So menus, toggle switches, so on and so forth. And then finally, we have some resources, which are kind of like components that Pixso includes for us. So we've got iOS icons, material design icons for Android, and then remix icons, which are just kind of a standard type of icon you see all over the web. Off to the right, we have our design styling options. This will vary depending on the element that is selected. So if I add in a shape here, I'll do a rectangle, draw the rectangle. And once your design is complete, which mine obviously is not, I can head over to handoff, this tab over here on the right, turn on development mode. And now the design is locked in and we can begin development. It's going to give me some helpful information as I go through and select different elements on the screen. Now, what's really cool is there is this AI assistant built right in. Now, I think they are still working on making this a little bit more effective. It looks really good in the whiteboarding tool, which I'll show you in a second. But in terms of what it can do in the design tool, it's a little bit more limited. So let's say I wanted to have an AI generated style guide. I'm going to click on this and I'll say, I want a style guide for a new website. We're going to choose the primary color, kind of this yellow orange color, and hit generate. And now it says the output text is too long. So I think the AI assistant is not quite there yet in terms of the design side of things. So let's check it out inside of the whiteboarding tool, which in my experience has been much more reliable. All right, so we've created a new whiteboard and now I can go ahead and I can zoom out as much as I want. This is basically an infinite canvas, or I can zoom back in. And now let me just demonstrate the AI assistant since I left you at kind of looking like it didn't do anything. Let's open it up here and I can have it generate a mind map. Let's say I wanted to, a list of reasons to practice guitar. And let's go ahead and submit this. All right, so here is my list. It says improve creativity and self-expression. And then it goes through a long list of reasons that you might want to practice the guitar. So there's a lot more AI tools built right in here. In fact, I can go ahead and have it generate an image. So it's going to ask for a description. I'm going to skip through the little training here. And I'm going to do a man playing the guitar. And we've all seen, AI generated tools by now. So I'm going to do a style of a Polaroid. And I'll make this, how about 4x3? And I'll just do one image. Now, of course, I could do this in any number of tools, but it's just kind of cool that it's built into this infinite canvas whiteboarding tool, right? I don't have to ever leave it, right? So while this is being generated, here is my man playing guitar. I could be, notating anything that I want. Let's get out of the AI tools here and we'll just get into more of the standard kind of whiteboarding tools. I can use a pen and say anything I want. Drawing mode's always kind of dumb with a mouse. We've got a ton of shapes that we can just drag and drop on. So here is a circle. Of course, these are going to be just vector images. We can make them as big as we need them. If you don't want to draw terribly on your canvas, of course, you can just type. All right, you get the point. This is a very versatile, full-featured whiteboarding tool. Very impressive. I like it a lot. I could see myself using this. There are a bunch more features that, of course, I don't have time to go into right now. There's a presentation mode. There's the ability to have reactions. So if you're working as a team collaborating on a whiteboard, you can react to certain things on the actual whiteboard. And then the person who made it will be able to see who reacted with that comment. There is chat built right in. You can have, this is the ability to see contributors' mouse movements. So if multiple people are working on the same whiteboard at the same time, you'll see who's doing what. Very, very cool. Pixso is a very impressive product. I definitely would recommend picking this one up, especially if you have an expensive Figma or XD subscription, you're trying to get off of that. Pixso looks like it's a very reasonable solution to replace that. Now, if you are a designer and you have everything kind of hard-coded into your muscle memory about how to use Figma, you might not have as great a time switching over because we just get used to the tools that we like. But if you're new and you're looking to save some money, this seems like a great option. I'm gonna give Pixso an 8.2. This is definitely a must buy. Next up, let's talk social media marketing with Creasquare. I think that's how you say it. 39 bucks gets you in the door. This one is ending in about a week here, so you gotta kind of jump on this. It is a Buffer, Canva, Jestor alternative. So if you know anything about those tools, Buffer and Canva, definitely different tools. Jestor, also a different tool. So we've got social media, graphic design, as well as AI copywriting all smashed together inside one particular tool. 39 bucks gets you in the door. Let's go ahead and check out these plans and features. Professional plan mapping, we'll see what that means in a moment. On tier 1, we get 5 social accounts, tier 2, 25, tier 3, 100, and we can scale this up to 350 social accounts. Otherwise, all of the features are exactly the same. We do only get 5,000 words per month with their AI writing tool, so that is worth noting. All right, remember, we're going to be mapped to their professional plan. So let's see what that means. I'm going to open up the Creasquare website here, go to pricing, professional, 20 bucks a month for 10 social accounts and 5,000 AI words. All right, so here is a Creasquare account. There's another onboarding survey that's going to make me go through. So I find these to be very intrusive, but I'll go ahead and finish this so I can publish this video for you guys. All right, survey complete. We are now inside of the Creasquare user interface. You can see we do have those multiple categories here where we've got our content calendar, we've got AI writing, the studio where we can go ahead and edit our videos and images, and then connections where we can actually link up to our different social media networks. This is an important part because it supports Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We do have our workspace selector down here, so if you have multiple clients, you'd organize them inside of different workspaces. Keep in mind that we do get unlimited users, unlimited workspaces. The only limitation is the number of social accounts in the plan that you chose. So before I can create a new post, I'm gonna go ahead and connect up a social media account. So we'll go to connections and I'll just log into Facebook. And now I've got the AppSumo users group here that I created many, many years ago on Facebook connected up to Creasquare. So we'll go to the content calendar, hit new post, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose my Facebook group. I can open up the AI writer here and have it generate a post for me. So first, I wanna choose my use case, which in this case is going to be a Facebook post. Now, there's not an option for a Facebook post, there's a Facebook ad. So I think I'll just go ahead and choose a normal paragraph. So paragraph writer. And now my paragraph title, I'm just gonna say, tell everyone I'm testing out Creasquare, and I'll have it create a post based on that. All right, so I've got a few outputs here to choose from. Looks like they give me 2 different options. Oh, and copy one, and then kind of exit out of this and go back into my post details and paste this in. You can see I get a nice little preview over to the right. I can also add in a first comment and say, first. And now that will automatically add in a comment after my post goes up. The benefit of doing this is that often people like to add links in those first comments because for some reason Facebook doesn't like when you share external links. I can add some content here. I could go into their creative studio or upload a file from my computer. For now, I'm just gonna upload this cheesy photo of myself and you can see what it looks like here. Now next, I can schedule the date that I want this post to go live. So let's say I want it to go out on Friday at 4 o'clock. That sounds good. And then I can hit schedule for later right here. If I click the disclosure triangle, I can choose schedule for later or publish now. So I'm definitely gonna do schedule for later and I'll click that button and it looks like it lost my publication date. So let me go ahead and change that again and choose schedule for later. All right, now if you look at my calendar, you can see that I've got my Hey What's Going On post showing up on Friday the 29th. I could also duplicate it if I wanted to modify it just a little bit and then post it at a different time. So that is the calendar side of things, creating and scheduling posts. We also have the AI writer, which we briefly saw as I created the post. And then under Studio, we have the ability to import all of our assets so we can easily reuse them throughout our posts. Now there is their Creative Studio, which is essentially going to be a white labeled version of Crello is what I know it as, but I think now it's called Vista Create. So you'll be able to go inside of Vista Create and then actually add in your graphic design and then be able to instantly import that into your posts. So you can use any of their pre-made designs, upload your own images, modify the text how you see fit. They've got a huge library of stock assets you can use. There's a background removal tool, very, very full featured. Vista Create's been around for a long time. As I mentioned before, they used to be known as Crello, and now they're white labelable and they're inside of a lot of these social media applications. So that is Creasquare. The name itself gets a 3 for me. I think it's an awful name. It's very difficult and awkward to say, but the app itself is actually fairly good. So if you need a social media scheduling tool, I think this one is a reasonable option. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.3. Hey, if you're still watching this video, make sure you click that like button. I appreciate you watching all the way through. Next up, we're going to be talking about Robinize. This is not a Robin Hood financial investment application, although the logo and the colors and everything kind of give me those vibes. This is actually an SEO tool to generate content for your website using AI. 69 bucks gets you in the door, and you can see that they've kind of segmented tiers 1 and 2 over to the individual plan. And if you want the team plan, that's going to be tiers 3 through 5. Let's see what the pricing looks like. We can go 15 reports per month, 1 user, 3 projects, and 150 AI credits. We don't really know what any of this means yet, but we'll figure it out by the end. And then rank tracking. So it does some kind of keyword tracking for you, or at least SERP ranking tracking for you. And then we've got some deep keyword research credits per month. So we can do some research, find out what the keywords people are searching for are. And this scales up as we increase the number of tier that we are on. So in tier number 2, everything has almost doubled. So twice as many reports, 3 users, 5 projects, 400 AI credits. Looks like tier 2, probably the best bang for your buck compared to tier 1, because you get a little bit more than double everything for less than double the money. If you go up to tier 5, this is our first unlimited type of deal of the week. We've got unlimited reports, unlimited projects, unlimited AI credits, unlimited rank tracking, and unlimited keyword research. 500 bucks basically gets you all the access to Robinize that you'd like. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so here is Robinize. Now, kind of the deal with this tool is you give it a topic, it goes out and does the SEO research for you, and then comes back with the article. That's the way it's supposed to work anyways. Let's go ahead and check out this by creating a new project here, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a name. All right, so my project name is gonna be WordPress support. The URL is clienttam.com, and the persona I chose was Colloquial Charlie. Hit add project here, open up the project. There's a little guide to get us through things. And I want to rank for WordPress support in the United States in English. I'm going to generate a report. It's going to fetch the top Google results right now. All right, now my report has been created. Let's go ahead and open this report. Now I've essentially got just a word processor here, and it's completely blank. Now, ideally, I'd have it create an article for me. I've got this AI outliner. If I click on this, I should be able to have it generate an outline. Now, I could be doing something wrong here, but I'm not quite able to figure out exactly what they want me to do. There's this little magic wand to generate an outline. If I do that, it looks like it's going to generate something, but then nothing comes out. So I don't know if this is user error or maybe their service is down right now, but I'm not able to figure out how this works. I can add a heading, add a section, add another heading, add another section, and copy this. Go ahead and copy it to the editor, and it basically just pops open the blank editor again. So again, I'm not really sure what they're looking for. However, I have seen interfaces like this many times on different applications. So we've got our terms they want us to include over here. If I want to insert them into the article, I can simply do this, just drop them in. I can also go under inspiration. This is going to be other questions that it's found online, typically under people also ask from Google. So I could say like, where can I ask questions about WordPress? That might be a term I want to include. Now, obviously my article over here is kind of a mess. There's also outlines from popular SERP results. So I've got the SERP results over here, and they're going to be a mixture of WordPress.org results as well as popular hosting providers, and then also just competitors to my business like WPTechSupport.com, 24/7 WPSupport.com. So there's lots of different information that it's pulling in. I'm just not finding a very clear way to actually have it generate the article. Now, notice if I go back into the outliner, the AI outliner, and don't even do anything, I just open it up, and then I go back into the editor, everything I just copied in is gone. So I definitely would probably hesitate to use this app. Neuron Writer is a fantastic alternative to this, and it's still on AppSumo. In fact, it won the Tool of the Year. I've got a full breakdown of Neuron Writer in a dedicated video, show you exactly how to use it. Starts at 89 bucks. I would probably recommend you go with this over Robinize right now. Yeah, so overall, I'm gonna give Robinize like a 3.2. I don't know, it's not functional for me at the moment, so I'm not trying to be harsh to it. I always hate to say bad things about applications because I know founders work very hard to make these, and probably I'm just not doing something quite right. But if someone knows, drop me a line down below. For now, check out Neuron Writer because I think that is a solid option. All right, we were finally there. Our last tool of the day. This is ProductScope AI. Now, currently, this is available as a AppSumo Plus exclusive. I got a link to join AppSumo Plus down below. As I showed you earlier in the video, sometimes they just give you free credits. You always get a 10% discount. You get access to a lot of tools. So I think it's like free. They just included. You get SendFox and KingSumo just included. So I think it's really a good deal, especially if you're an AppSumo addict like I am. But if you're not an AppSumo Plus member and you're still interested in ProductScope, it's going to be coming off of this Plus exclusive, and it's going to be available to everyone on March 27th. So it looks like the deal ends soon, but it's just going to be available to everyone. When it goes live to the general public, it's actually going to be $59. So you're getting a little break if you grab it right away. So what even is this thing? Well, it's a tool to help you generate product images for your Amazon or e-commerce store listings. So let's go ahead and dig in here. $49, like I mentioned, gets you in the door if you're a Plus member right now. Otherwise, it's going up to $59, and you're gonna get unlimited image generations per month, and then 2.5 hours of fast image generations per month as kind of the, you're probably familiar with that terminology from things like Midjourney. And we will be mapped to the Pro Product Photoshoot Plan updates. Pro Plan being $28 a month. The differences in plans are essentially for plans 1 and 2, you're just going to get double the amount of images per month and then a longer retention period. However, if you go up to plan 3, which is kind of everything available to you, you get a lot more stuff. You get a Chrome extension, you get ChatGPT for Amazon, a special agent that you can use on Amazon, keyword upload, listing optimizations for Amazon, as well as the listing optimizer add-on, and you can export your listings to PDF. Now, I'm going to be focusing on the image generation part of it for this plan because I don't have plan 3 and I don't have any Amazon listings. So it's not worthwhile for me to invest in this right now, but let's focus on the image generation and see how good that is. All right, very simple 1, 2, 3 process to use this. First, we upload our product, then we pick a scene or have it generate a scene based on text, and then we can place the product into that scene. Now, if we have that Chrome extension in tier 3, we can just go to the product scope inside of Amazon and pick it directly from there. For now, I'm just gonna upload a product. I just downloaded this from Amazon. This is some popcorn. I have no affiliation with the company. And there we go. Here is our popcorn. Now I'm going to pick a scene. Let's go with a furniture scene and maybe something with a television in it would be good. Oh, I don't know. How about this couch here? Okay, so that's kind of ridiculous. Let's choose a different scene. Let's go to, I don't know, how about a kitchen or something? All right, still a little bit ridiculous, but let's actually have it generate the photos. All right, so my generation is now complete. I've got 4 different results to pick from here. You can see all the different options. They are not amazing, but they're not terrible. There's one thing I could have done to improve the process here, and that is to set a shadow on the item itself. So we can go into the editor here, and I think I can actually, you can only go ahead and change the shadow before you do the creation process. So I definitely would recommend that when you're uploading your assets. So if I went through this process one more time, so here's my background, and then I've got my product. I would probably set it down and then turn on the shadow option right away. And then I'm gonna try to angle that shadow so that it looks more natural inside of the actual illustration itself in terms of where the light is coming from. Okay, so I just added a simple shadow there. Let's go ahead and generate some photos from this. See if they turn out any better. It's tricky because it doesn't give you a ton of tools to really get the shadow to, say, lay flat underneath it. So I'm not sure that this is gonna be like the best quality output in the world. If you look at their website, the output that they're giving, they're really only showing like one fairly large image, and it doesn't look that different than what I made the first time around. So maybe this just, isn't that amazing. So here's the output. Yeah, the shadow looks really kind of cheesy. So I take it back. I don't think the shadow really can be too much of an improvement here because it doesn't reflect the scene that's being generated, and you don't have a lot of control over what the scene is gonna look like in the end. So ProductScope AI, at least for the product photography generation component of it, not really that great to me. I think anybody with, Pixelmator Pro or Photoshop is going to be able to do a better job of just kind of making a collage with a nice background. So I'm going to give this one a 4.7. I would say probably pass on this unless you are just desperate to try something to improve your Amazon listings. So those were all of the new tools released on AppSumo this week. Now, let's talk about everything that is ending and trending over at AppSumo. So these are the tools that are ending this week at AppSumo. There are SEO tools, video tools, community builders, just about everything under the sun. I'm going to highlight a few here that I know that are extremely popular and that the community really loves. First up, Book Like a Boss, an OG AppSumo deal currently ending in 3 days as of the recording of this video. Another really interesting one that you might want to check out is Voice. This is going to be a WordPress plugin to manage your own sales pipeline, like a CRM inside of WordPress. This is a very interesting product. I think it has a little ways to go in terms of being fully fleshed out, but I like where it's going. If you just like trying out new tools, definitely check out Spark Receipt. You can see this has 91.5 taco reviews, only $25 for lifetime, or actually $24 for lifetime. It's an AI receipt scanner. It allows you to easily scan your receipts and keep track of everything. Now for this one, you do need to be an AppSumo Plus member, so go ahead and get signed up with my link in the description for that. For the SEOs out there, definitely check out Keyword Hero ending in 4 days. And then finally, check out Time Ticks. That ends in 11 days. That's a pretty decent Calendly replacement. I'm sure there's other great tools here. If you see anything that looks interesting, leave me a comment down below and I'll try to give you my input. And a couple of trending tools that I keep seeing mentioned all across social media. Sell Me This Pin, SMTP, not anything to do with email. This is a sales coaching, an AI coach where you practice selling stuff and then the AI coach gives you feedback. Really cool, interesting idea for an app. Kind of out there, right? We don't see a lot of tools like this. If you're interested in a full-length review of this, definitely leave me a comment down below and I'll consider it. Another app that is trending this week is called Simply Static. For $59, you can take your WordPress website and get the WordPress out of it. It'll become a static website so that you can host it on an S3 bucket for pennies per month. $59 for that. Very, very interesting tool. Once again, if you want to see a dedicated video for Simply Static, drop me a comment down below. If I get enough interest, I will be happy to make either of those videos. All right, that's going to do it for this week's Taco Truck Roundup. I will be back next week with everything new at AppSumo. Leave me a comment down below with any questions. If I missed things, I'm sure I did. This is 10 products. I'm trying to review them all and do my best. So let me know if I got stuff wrong. I want to hear about it so I can get the correct information out there. My name is Dave Swift. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.